Yeah. Oh. This is from Ailish Murphy, and it's via email. What the fuck? If you had to be murdered, then who would you prefer to be your murderer? What the fuck is that? What kind of a question is that? Why do you want to send me something like that? Like, I was thinking maybe Bill Murray, but that feels like something that could actually happen and he'd get away with it for some reason. I think I'd like to be murdered by a clone of myself, and then my clone could take on my life and dispose of my body, and then I wonder if anyone would notice the difference. My wife would have to be sort of like, she'd be like, man, you just got really good in bed all of a sudden, and like you're way more intense than you usually are, and you're a better dad, and you're doing all the washing up and stuff. That's another question coming in. So question time. Questions at andtherattlesnakes.com. Is that the right email address? Cool. We've got a question from Bluebell, my dog, and it says, will you just let me sleep? You don't even have fucking opposable thumbs, so I don't know how you just sent that. It's from Charlie, and he sent it via email. And Charlie asks, just before your first tour, I think, you mentioned possibly doing some covers. Do you think that's something you still might want to do? If so, what covers? What covers? I love playing covers. I like music, so I've always liked doing that. What covers would we want to play? I don't know. I wouldn't mind giving something kind of out there a crack. That maybe Shine On You Crazy Diamond. Something like that would take a fair amount of work. But the reality is that probably we'll just play some Black Flag covers or some Minor Threat covers, because they're really fun and they're a quick blast and they don't really like cut into the set too much. And it's kind of important for me to not really like mess with the flow of our own music too much. If that makes sense. So yeah, or Borstal Breakout by Sham 69. I love that song. I've been going on about covering that for years and we still haven't done it, so maybe we'll do that soon. There you go, Charlie. Thanks for writing in. Just before this message was sent, Dean said they're getting weirder. Let's open it up and see what we got. Jack Smith via email. If you had to sacrifice the other members of the band on stage, how would you do it? And then he's gone on to tell me how he would. If it was me, first I'd force them to pierce their foot on a spike, Alan Partridge style. After that, I think I'd just put some trunks on and sit down on the grass. If I had to sacrifice the other members of the band on stage, how would I do it? I would probably have some big trapdoors, and I'd have a crocodile pit installed underneath the stage, and then maybe I'd have one-way mirror put underneath the stage so that when they all fall through the trapdoor, I can watch, but as they're looking up, they only get to see themselves being eaten by crocodiles. Liam Mangan. Have you seen the new Star Wars? What did you think? I have seen the new Star Wars. I fucking loved it. Took my wife. She don't give a shit about Star Wars. She loved it. I mean, it was kind of felt a little bit like a rehash of the first one, of A New Hope. But I really liked that, you know, it was a good origin story, they're setting everything up the right way. We sat down and like BB-8 rolled on the screen, and for whatever reason, I turned around and said to my wife, she reminds she reminds me of Mercy, and that's my daughter. So then we were just laughing through the whole film because BB-8, the droid, was like bumbling around like our 16-month-old daughter, and that made me really happy. So yeah, I loved the new Star Wars film. I thought it was brilliant. J.J. Abrams did a really good job. You fucker.